Good afternoon and welcome to Real Chicks Rock Presents Real Discussions. I'm your host for today, Michelle Dosbert, and I am super excited for a number of reasons, and I'm going to explain them why to you shortly. But just a great day here in Atlanta. A little chilly here today, but just so much is going on. So let me just start with, first and foremost, I'm a little raspy because today is Sunday, and typically if I'm raspy on Sunday, it means I got my life on Saturday night. So that would explain the raspiness in my voice. I had the opportunity to host a Tambor party last night while the curator and founder of Tambor Party, Stan Zeff, was out of the country. He allowed me to host his party in his absence, and we had a wonderful time last night. So shouts out to everyone that came out. Thank you to all the DJs, DJ Deb, DJ Royce, and DJ Burt. We had a wonderful time, so thank you so much for that. So much is going on with Real Chicks Rock. I think some of you might be wondering or may not have ever seen the shirt before, so let me give you a little bit about it. It is, if you can see it, let me go this way. Yeah, it's Real Chicks Rock Chucks. It was actually my first shirt that I did before I did Real Chicks Rock. The whole brand was birthed really around this. Long stories about it. But this month, October, we tend to celebrate a lot of different things. Breast cancer awareness, domestic violence, and there's a host of other things that we are just raising the awareness about. And I'm fortunate and blessed to be able to say that October represents the anniversary of Real Chicks Rock. So this month and this year, it makes it 6 years in its existence. So I'm extremely excited about it. I thought about it like the other day. I was like, my anniversary, the brand's anniversary is this month. And I was like, wow. So we're going to do some special things about it or for it in the next couple of weeks. It's just a lot going on in October. I don't want to cram anything else. But I thought today I would just wear the old school joint. Yeah. Just to commemorate the anniversary of the brand. So thank you to everyone that has bought a t-shirt, supported the brand, watching the show, came out to events, made donations, just gave me pats on the back, words of affirmation, just gave me your support, your love, your time, your energy, everything that you've done. I just want to say thank you so much for all that. We're in the process of planning things for 2019. Really, planning season is almost over. Really, you should really have mapped out what you're going to do for 2019 at this point of the year. You really shouldn't wait till the end of the year to try to do anything for your businesses in December. It's really, it's cutting it close, in my opinion. So our planning is almost wrapping up, and so we've got quite a few things already on the horizon for the brand. We have been very successful and been getting some good response in regards to the grant writing workshops that we've held. We've held 2 this year in October 18, in 2018. So we're going to carry that program on into the new year. So we're going to do that in the first quarter, as well as the second annual awards luncheon. Excellent response when we did it last year. I want to continue to recognize women and entities and people that are doing phenomenal things in the community, especially here in Atlanta. So that luncheon will be geared and focused around that. And so that'll be in April of next year. So the calendar is starting to build up. What we also have coming around the corner, because it's starting to become that time of the year with the holidays and things coming on. In December 14th, which is a Friday, we're going to have a holiday gala, if you will. It'll be a toy drive and Christmas dinner, and proceeds from that will be given to about 25 kids. We're going to sponsor and focus on them for the holidays and make sure that the holidays is going to be bright for them this year. So it is up and active on Eventbrite. Please take a moment to check it out. Feel free to register, and we'd love to see you there. It's going to be at the Philip Rush Center, which is 1530 DeKalb Avenue. And again, that's on December 14th, and it starts about 5 o'clock, from 5 to 8. So we look forward to having you guys there. So a lot of things going on. I'm excited about the t-shirts. We're going to resurrect that, and I guess to commemorate the 6 years of our existence, I think it's a really good time to just kind of revamp some things. So we're going to come out with some different images and stuff like that, and when we're ready to do that, you guys will be the first to know about it, so stay tuned for that. I'm in the studio by myself. Yeah, I know. Sometimes I have to do that, but today is kind of special because I had the opportunity of talking to my guest a couple of weeks ago when she was here in Atlanta. And I just found that it was just very befitting to talk to her because, one, we're both from the same neighborhood. We know some of the same people. So I felt like our worlds were like coming together. Everybody that knows me knows that I love house, but if you are born and raised in the Bronx, there is some kind of affiliation or love that you're going to have for hip hop. And that's me. And so my birthplace in the Bronx was the birthplace of hip hop, really, realistically. A lot of people that were about hip hop back then kind of had to play or come through my neighborhood to do that. And that was Bronx River Project, so shouts out to Bronx River. So this young lady and myself, we know the same people, and I just found it to be an honor to have the opportunity to sit down and talk to her and get her side of the story and her side and her viewpoint of her career and her challenges and her ups and her downs. And the fact that she's still here makes her even more legendary. You guys know that I like talking to legendary people as much as I possibly can. So again, we had this conversation a few weeks back. I thought it was apropos to air it this month during the anniversary month of the brand. Shouts out to Moods Music, who allowed us to come through and sit and have the conversation that day. Thank you. Thank you, Daryl, so much for letting us do that. So, and to my cameraman for the day who took the video footage to my son, Christopher. Christopher did the video shooting that day. So if you see a thumb in the shot or little fingers or something, that's my son. So thank you, Christopher, for taking the time and holding that camera so steady for as long as we were talking. So without any further ado, this is my conversation with DJ Jazzy Joyce. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks. Hi, welcome to Real Chicks Rock Presents Real Discussions. I'm your host for today, Michelle Dawesberg, and I am super excited because, first of all, we're doing a remote situation today. Typically, we're in a station, but today I thought it would be best if we come out and be about the records, the vinyl, the music, the energy, because I have the opportunity of having a conversation with the legendary DJ Jazzy Joyce. Jazzy Joyce, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah. First shout out, Sir Daniel.
Yes.
Sir Charles Daniel for manifesting this. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel, for doing this. Yes. The connection and the power of Instagram, because I saw you promoted there and he reposted, and so social media is just a way. You know, I know we grew up back in the day on flyers, handing flyers out, but now we got social media to help communicate the word. So big ups to the media and everybody that's following DJ Jazzy Joyce and seeing that she's here in Atlanta for the weekend for a couple of days. We welcome you.
Thank you for having me. Yeah. Thank you for showing interest in wanting to speak to me. So let's get
it going. Yeah. So for the new listeners, let me just tell you what Real Chicks Rock is all about. We're all about the empowerment of women, and we do it through various different ways and vehicles. We do it through community service. We do it through a little bit of activism as well. We got a t-shirt line. We thank everybody that's been out there rocking and rolling with the brand. Big ups for you for doing that. And also through the media. And the media is actually this platform where we get to sit down and talk about interesting issues and topics that impact us as women and the people that support us and love us, but we also talk to interesting people that are doing legendary work. Legendary work. So today is no different. Like I said, we have the incomparable and legendary DJ Jazzy Joyce here in the A, and we're going to break this bread, as we say up top. So we're going to dig right in. Born and raised from where, Joyce? The Bronx?
Yes, the Boogie Down Bronx.
Yes.
That's it. It's on my birth certificate.
Yeah. That's the tone. That's where you was born and raised. So tell me the vibe growing up in the Bronx, because people think I'm a little biased because I'm a New York girl, even though I live here in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. But I know what it was like. But share with the listeners, what was it like for you growing up in the Bronx?
At that time, wow. Actually, I am born and raised from the Boogie Down Bronx, but my mom was kind of in the gypsyist stage, and we were in Atlanta.
Really?
Briefly, from I want to say 79 to 81.
Really? About 2 years.
Yeah.
About 2 years. Okay.
And then she was like, "We got to go back," so we went back. So, my whole structuring and cultivating of the me is based in New York, in the Bronx. And what it was like back then was the crack era was in full swing.
Right, right.
So as a child, you don't know what you're in the middle of. You're seeing everything.
Right.
So in the darkness and the destruction of the dope and the crack that you see, the fallout, for some reason I gravitated towards what I thought was the beauty and the madness, which would be hip hop.
Yeah.
Everything that you see around in the darkness that's peeking out. So what I would see is the graffiti. Yes. The colors of the graffiti, and that was the artistic, rebellious message of the destruction and the result of what the communities where we came from. So that's what it looked like. So you had the jams in the park. Right. The in the jams in the parks, you have the DJ, the MCs, then you have the break dances, and then you got the graffiti. So those the elements of hip hop. And to make it short, that's what it was like for me. I gravitated towards those things versus being heavily sexually active as a young female or just anything getting into the drug culture and everything. And I think to this day, I'm not a drinker, you know, and I've spent over 30 years in the club environment. But I think people like, you don't drink, you don't drink it. But I was thrusted into the environment from young, and I don't know what in my mind's eye made me say, I don't want to partake in that. But it just manifested that way. And I'm glad because imagine in the idea of success in terms of, you know, when you think of the longevity of my existence, to be able to talk about and experience the things that I have through music and through the art of DJing and the culture of hip hop. Right. When you think of that, if I would have been consuming alcohol all that time, it would be really not too good.
We wouldn't be sitting here today. So you were sober and conscious the whole time of the evolution, you know, of just absorbing this music, this culture, because it was new.
But at the same time, I was one of the pioneers. So in my soberness and my consciousness, I still wasn't conscious and aware enough to understand what I was perpetuating in terms of when you're pioneering, you're forging forward, and you're doing, and you don't see the fallout of you trudging forward because you just, you know, you dirty and you grind and you're tunneling and you're pioneering. This is uncharted territory and stuff.
So when you went during that time, Joyce, what was some of the music that you heard during that time? I know it's you set the stage. It's hip hop, the artistic side, the graffiti, the break dances, the music. But what was the tracks that you were listening to, or the music that you heard at that time?
It was the soundtrack that my mom provided in her home, in our home environment. That's the foundation. Because the woman is the first teacher. What are you doing?
Don't take a picture.
Oh, all right. Just checking. Just checking.
I hear you. So go ahead. So it was with your mom. So what did you hear? What kind of music was mom playing at that time? Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
So, just soul music. I mean, he's welcome to it. I was like, what happened? So soul music and just mostly what influenced her life becomes the soundtrack of your life. It's the foundation until you mature as your own being, and you make your own musical decisions then on what you want to take in and experience for your audio choices. But the foundation was soul and just everything that she was taking in musically. And then from there, once I was out into the world and then recognized as an individual who was talented from young, then my audio palette became influenced by my experiences in hip-hop.
Yeah, okay.
You know, so...
When did you realize, Joyce, that you were talented? When did it hit you? At a very young age?
When you're pioneering something, you don't have anything else to compare.
I got you. That's
so
fair.
that you don't understand the value of your existence and what you're doing, because there's nothing else to gauge.
To measure it with. I'm with you. I understand.
So the understanding of truly everything, and not everything, but a large percentage of what I've done has come later in life. Because like I said, when you're pioneering, you're moving. When you don't have anything else to measure off of, it's no need to stop and try to do the math. We can't matrically figure this out. But I became the measuring for a while.
Yes.
I was the measuring stick, if you think of it in that sense. So that's why I don't really have a moment where I can say, oh yeah, that's when I knew.
I'm with you. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now I understand, and now I'm like, oh, it's the oh shit moment. When you look back and then you take all the information and you're like, oh my God.
Right.
Now I can get it, but in the midst of it and everything. And then when you're really rooted into the system of so-called success in the industry and everything, it's just you're in a cocoon or a cloud in comparison to understanding the cause and effect of your actions and how it affects the motion and movement and decision of the masses as a whole. Like understanding all of that takes time.
Takes a minute.
Yeah.
It takes a maturity, maybe some experience and that type of thing. So it's still kind of new.
And go ahead.
Yeah. So Joyce, tell me if you can remember your first party. What was that like when you DJ'd at your first party?
My first party, the first club that I played at was this place called Earth's Edge.
Okay.
And I have the flyer for it. It was myself on the bill, Jazzy J, Red Alert, Africa Bambaataa, and all of that. And
legendary people!
And I had to be accompanied by my mom.
Really?
Because I was only 13.
Ooh.
That was the only condition that the owner would allow for me to be in the space. He was like, because there's alcohol, she has to be accompanied by an adult. Okay. And that was the first party. 13 my mom took me to, and Did you open for them, or they just put you in the middle? I'm sure. I feel like I want to say I was probably in the middle-ish. Okay. I wasn't prime time. Yeah. Like open-ish. Right. I wasn't the first, but I wasn't prime time. But I was still valued and in a good placement in the lineup. Yeah. What was the energy like in the room, Joyce, when you was mixing and DJing that day? Do you remember? There were people. It was the world of punk rock and graffiti, and it was the mix. And then it was Lower Manhattan. It was called the Earth's Edge, so it's right down in the what we know now is Houston Street area. Yes. And there was a lot of drugs and everything down there. So it was people at the time. I really want to say I was probably in the presence or have been around the people like Basquiat and Warhol, but didn't realize it was them. Just like when young people who see me now and they don't realize they've been in the presence of me and how I look and everything, and then later they find out like, oh,
that was her.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. When I was young, I was in the presence of those type energies, you know, and it was just the mix of everything and everybody, because it was like the music industry was forging the mix in terms of the punk rockers, because punk rock was dying out, rock was dying out, and rap was growing. Right, so they was like, hold up.
Right, what's going on? Yeah.
So that's what the energy was like. It was like a mix and an infusion of arts, and just everybody was in that space. And it was eclectic, and I was too young to really fully take in everything that was going on. But visually, what I remember, it was colorful in the sense of races and appearances. And everybody was just fair. If you was good and you was, they respond.
That's what's up. Did you have like a mentor coming into the game so early? Did anybody kind of take you under the wing, or did you?
Some of the people that were very influential in assisting my development was DJ Scratch, DJ Clark Kent. The first young man who taught me how to DJ ever, his DJ name was Chovy Cho. His real name is Anthony, and they used to, from the word anchovy came his DJ name, Chovy Cho.
I got you.
Yes.
I got you.
So he definitely is the first who instilled so much. And then, like I said, Scratch was definitely instrumental. Scratch and Clark Kent was instrumental in making me battle ready and ferocious, not only club ready. So that's the foundation, and then my life of everyone else that kind of either gave me information or paid attention and made adjustments.
Joyce, did you find that you were doing battles because of your skill or because you were a female DJ, or both? What do you think was coming at you at that time?
I want to say, check with Chris.
All right.
So I want to say it was my DJ skills.
Okay.
Because
you were that fierce.
Yes.
You were that dope.
And it was like, and it was part of rites of passage of being a DJ. And as a DJ, you did not only have to know one facet and entity of it.
Right.
You had to check in and check off the fact that, oh, you can play, because when you think of music, there's the same set of music in terms of if you're a radio DJ, a club DJ, producer, it's the same instruments in terms of song choice, but you use it differently. I would present the same record to you differently in a club than when I would do it in the radio.
Right, okay, true.
So you have to understand that, and not you, but it was our rites of passage as a DJ. You had to understand all
of that.
Everything.
Learning. Learning every
facet of it. And battle ready,
everything.
But now people pick
one lane
and then
versus learning every aspect. Do we feel that turntablism is dying or going away, or people are leaning towards one lane versus the other? What do you think about today, about how we DJ today?
I think the art of DJing is being dismantled and diminished. The energy and the influence of it is definitely being decompressed.
I got you.
You know, because of the music industry.
Okay.
When you think of how, when DJs were collectively moving as one, they were powerful. And when the industry was able to harness and control it, then it was fine. But then once the industry understood, holy moly, like we gotta check in with this front line of people,
Yeah.
they had to dismantle that, and that's the process of where we are now. Them regaining control and trying to figure out how to monetize again what they've lost, because people don't buy music.
I know.
Yeah, they don't like a young person or anyone be a millennial or younger.
Yes.
They don't know the process of how we used to wait for an album to be released on Tuesday and be excited and go and support your local record shop and get music in the physical sense.
Right.
They don't have things. The physical experience is virtual now. And the release of things is Wild Wild West-ish. So they're still trying to harness and control. But it's totally different. Yeah, and it's definitely losing. It's being a DJ is it's sort of like a human jukebox state. People don't have any respect for when you're DJing. They just come up. They don't respect the process. They're talking to you. They don't care. Like, could you play this right now? Yeah. They don't have any sense of mixing. Nothing. They don't. The art of it is just been dismantled. Yeah. But at the same time, there's some people who, when you, as a consumer of the art form of DJing, when you're in the presence of someone who is great, you realize there is a difference. Yes. But until that moment, you don't. When you're shrouded in experience with all of the crappy experiences,
foolishness,
the crappy experiences of the art form.
Yeah, you don't know.
No, you're right.
So you don't have expectations. You don't know what to look for. You don't know what to listen for. You don't even know how to approach it or to embrace it because you just don't know.
Right.
We also talked about, Joyce, before we got into the conversation, just the fact of how music and DJs are being handled in different parts of the world. So we were hearing from Daryl, who owns Moves Music. Thank you, Daryl, for letting us be here.
Yes, thank you, Daryl.
We were talking about how he mentioned how DJs are having to possibly pay.
Not even possibly.
But
that's
having to pay, right?
When you go to Germany, ladies and gentlemen, now if you DJ anywhere, you have to pay. They're expecting us to pay royalties for playing it.
Playing the music.
Yeah, so I guess like if your playlist is 100 records, then you're expected to compensate for the 100 records that are being played, and that's through the apps. Everything is now, you're being monitored and tracked through the apps. Yeah. And that's going to be interesting, because then if the fallout of that energy starts to move around the world, then what?
Right.
Because they're already shackling you from being able to mix on apps, and you know, the whole thing, you know, it's closing down. Like when geeks tell y'all, when there's certain collective of people who y'all think are so kooky, crazy, or whatever you want to refer them to, but they're geeks and they see the BS coming because they understand the matrix. We're going, that's a whole,
they understand,
and they see it coming. And usually artists, because artists exist off of residual runoff income of the rest of the masses. When the trickle down starts to slow down, they're usually the first to feel before the rest feel, because the rest is not affected immediately. Because artists and everything are the first line of feeling the squeeze, because what they live off of is drips, drips of.
This is real. It's really changing.
Yeah, it's really changing.
It's really changing, and that's why I thought being here at Moves Music would be comforting. Because we actually can see all the physical music and touch it and get a vibe. Because
but a young
music
person,
is energy.
Right, but a young person is not going to feel the same way we feel because they weren't brought up in it. So it's like they feel like you're It's a drag backwards. They're like, it's too, that idea of
It's
it
too
moves
old
so-
school. It's too
Right.
old.
Because look at all of this music, right?
Yeah.
But on their phone, instead of like, if I wanted to carry all of this with me, you can't carry it. Like carrying it is heavy, but virtually,
Yeah, I got
I
it
could
all.
have everything in this room
My goodness.
in one place.
And that's true.
So,
Yeah.
but then how do you sort it out in this sense?
Right.
In this sense, there's a sort out, and there's a sectioning, and there's a, okay, these are my this. and
Right.
that. But they have their own systems.
Right.
that-
Digitally.
Yes,
To do it.
in their mind.
How to do that. Joyce, you think we would be able to bridge the gap? Because, let me say this, because of everything that you've experienced as an artist, as a creator, right, creative person, we would want to pass some of that information on, some of that skill on. Do you think we're able to bridge the gap between ourselves and the millennials? Any viewpoint on how you think we could approach that?
Someone such as myself is a kind of a decent conduit, because the millennials are kind of like in what I see is like a savage state, because they haven't, and it's not their fault. They're a victim of everything that is really kind of rough in terms of Black existence,
Yes.
meaning them not being properly raised in family structures, like everything. The males are torn from situations. The now it's the attack on the females.
Right.
Everything. So you have to have someone that they're willing to listen to, because they're in savage mode. They're trying to figure out life and everything. And there's definitely been a gap in passing down information, because the whole point of passing on information is so that the next generation can possibly live and exist in a better place than what you've already endured. That's partly why it's important of arranged marriages and stuff.
Yes.
I'm jumping around,
Yeah,
but
it's okay,
it all
I'm with
makes
you.
sense
Yeah,
with stuff.
yes.
Because it's like what you instill in your son and in your child, right? You don't want him to come and mate with somebody
Come
who
on,
their
Joyce.
bloodline is, all they do is there's no college graduate, there's no ambition, there's no structure, there's
Right.
nobody taught nobody how to cook,
yeah.
clean. You gotta be taught how to do these things, because it's what helped you sustain and exist. So I'm saying all of this to say that no matter who you are, if it's you, a young person, whatever, if you're not interested in receiving the information, it doesn't matter how bad we want to try to help.
you. Yeah.
If they're not interested in taking it in, it's a waste of your time. So you have to know who is the good person that could explain things in a way where it's understood. Like you have this app and you have these things, but it derived from this.
Yes.
So there's few people such as myself that may be able to get through certain information.
Yeah.
But, you know, younger generations have to understand how to critically think without the machine, and then do their own researching and putting things together and figure it out. But it's a little messy and a little frightening
Yeah, it is.
to think,
It is.
because
Real talk.
it's a lot of information that they think they know.
No.
And they don't, because the world is moving so fast
Yes.
because of the machines. But they don't have that slow truth,
Yeah.
that information that comes from life experiences. So to answer the question in short, like how, what, I'm here. This is the first thing.
Yeah.
I'm here to incite thought through you,
Yes.
through this experience.
Yes.
Someone will sit and actually listen to the entire
Correct.
interview,
Yes.
not bits and pieces or skim and skim. That's the thing. A lot of them don't have patience. Some of the greatest gems I've ever gotten was because I just listened. And sometimes the gems come right at the top, in the middle, at the end, but it'll be something that'll help bring everything together. Hashtags. Hashtags. Some people who are not tech savvy and they don't understand the importance of that, but hashtags bring everything associated with that hashtag together. So if I press that hashtag, if I press your hashtag, say your hashtag.
Yeah.
No, for your
Yeah, Real Chicks Rock.
right. boom. So when I press on that,
everything,
I sing
all
right.
of it, all of it.
Right. But there's mature people who don't understand how to work the internet. They won't ask any questions. They'll stay away. But then it's not gonna break.
Yeah.
You have to try.
Yeah.
How do we? When I came in this world, I didn't come into the world amazing DJ and amazing. It came through practice and investigation and a comparison. That's all science is. Science is a case study of repetitive attempts on things and then getting what we call the matrix. Everybody has matrix. Even cooks have matrix.
Yes.
You can have macaroni. We can have the same ingredients on the table, but what separates my recipe from yours is the matrix. Whatever my flick of the wrist on the salt, those are numbers.
Come on, Jay. Yeah.
Those are 2 teaspoons,
Right,
and
right.
that's
a
numbers.
dash, a pinch of this and that.
Right, we have the same, but you got your own
Right,
matrix
right.
that make it different
Right.
when it's presented.
I'm with you. I'm with you all the way. I want to take you back because we went down a lane which was awesome. I want to go back to the Phil Donahue show.
Oh, listen, I've done a lot of things in my lifetime in terms of being a DJ.
Yeah.
And it was great that he said that.
Yeah.
But then you gotta think. Like, there's certain moments I've had in 96, I crashed on my motorcycle. So, broke my collarbone, clavicle, all this stuff. And I was just talking to my mother about that. I said, everybody we don't know how much it's rattled. But I do remember everything that happened, but it was basically at one of those points where hip-hop was moving the dial.
Okay.
And if you notice who I was in the company of was the female MCs.
That's right.
That would kind of making it, and I was the only female DJ in representation in that whole situation. So when you think in understanding media and manipulation and setup and all that, so I would have to really kind of go back to the Donahue thing, then reanalyze why we were put there. Because there's a reason for everything. But it's the setup for later, but we don't know. So they saw me as whatever they saw me and presented me as that.
Okay.
So whoever put that as a line for Donahue to say thank you, because then it's like I could say it all day, but that date stamps and my existence. I was there. This is what I am thought to be. I'm thankful for that because it lessens my fear. No, I really was.
I really was a
part of
there.
Right. I really like I meet some people now, and it's like I try to explain. They like, well, I never heard of you, and that's fine. I'm not tripping off of that. So things like that make it easier for them to understand my impact, and I really was here. So I'm thankful. Yeah. Because I could have not went that day.
I know.
Listen, there's a lot of times in your career that you can choose not to go somewhere. Like imagine if I didn't go ahead when that opportunity for me to be on Hot 97 for 15 years was presented. That was a crossroad. Yes. That's a crossroad. We get to crossroads. You gotta decide: am I gonna go north, south, east, or west, left, or right? What am I gonna do?
Right
now. It's plenty of situations where I collaborated with strangers. Yes. I didn't know Sweet Tea. I knew Joski Love. He was dating her. We both was from the Bronx. He did the Pee Wee Herman.
That's right.
He said, "My girl is." They were working on their situation because that's the whole Herbie, Love Bug Can, Salt and Pepper, all them cats. So I came in last, and I was collaborating with a stranger, and I talked to her recently, and I was like, "Yo, we missing out on certain opportunities because we still stuck in our space of whatever it was in 1980, whatever." But you got to realize we were two strangers that came together and made magic. And now we're more mature. We could communicate better. But it's peace. Like I try. Hey, you want to try? No, you don't want to try. Okay, cool.
All right.
It's all right. But Hot 97. Now imagine this. If I would have decided to not take that opportunity, would my soul have been tortured for the 15 years of the success of it? Or would it have not? Today, I can confidently make a decision at a crossroad like that because of my wealth of knowledge. But back then I didn't have my wealth of knowledge. And I made a decision, I think, at the right time that made the right impact.
Yeah. 15 years.
Yes. And it's the foundation of what Mix Show and everything was built and made of. And as you see it dismantling, it's how they're dismantling it one at a time, one person at a time, one DJ at a time, getting out of the position, because it goes back to us talking about how they're charging the royalty. Like, so who does the cost of the royalties go to? Why do we gotta pay? We're assisting to promote y'all. Like, there's the art. Because when you think of the whole idea of the art of the mixtape culture and everything, I always was very aware that it was illegal. That's an illegal business. Mixtapes is illegal. We was making money off of other people's music and because putting it together, I was aware of it, but at the same time, it was what we was doing. It's just like there's a lot of things that are illegal, but it's like,
feels good while we're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. But somebody's gonna get caught.
The rules are gonna get changed, and laws are gonna be put in place, and then we gotta stop.
Right.
We gotta stop.
Right.
But it's an impact though, because people was getting their bread off of that. People were living off of that.
Right, but the artist wasn't.
Yeah.
The culture, the DJ, right?
I'm with you. Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When there's somebody winning, there's somebody losing. Always. But winners only think about themselves. They never think about what's the fallout. It's always fall. Always. Always. Every single thing you do.
Yes. Talk to me about Diggable Planets.
Hotness
right there, right?
That experience was amazing. I'm going to tell you in short how I wound up being involved with it. I used to DJ at this place, spot called the Funk Hut, every Tuesday, because Tuesday was music release day, like when we say when you would buy music in the physical sense.
Right.
So on Tuesdays, new artists would get released or whatever. So it was kind of a hot spot. Funk, like how here,
this is hot.
But it's a vibe, and people come here understanding what they're gonna get. So that night was, you understood what you was gonna get. And at the time, one of the bands that would frequent was Diggable Planets on their pass-through. I was the DJ there, and long story short, was asked to go on tour with them.
Nice.
Before going on tour with them, they were working on the album. He, Ishmael Butterfly, asked me if I had the record by Grandmaster Flash and them with Making Money. So I had it in my collection and everything, and I kind of forged my way into the production of the album by saying, look, I'm not just gonna give you the record. I gotta scratch or be involved or something, and that's how I became a part of the album. And my stance on it came from me refusing to give Herbie Love Bug like a lot of, like that was part of, between everything that went, however it went between Sweet Tea and I, he was adding on pressure to me to want to leave too, because it was like, my record collection is not your library to just pick from, and it would be combative, and I'm like, how are people arguing with me? Can I curse over my shit? They don't know what I did, how many times I had to wipe off sneakers, or you know what I'm saying, save my allowance, wait 2 weeks to go get one record this week, go get, nigga, fuck you. Excuse my language, but I've been wanting to say that, like from back then, but when you young, you don't know, she like, I gotta get out. Because these niggas, and I'm an only child, so I had no sisters, no brothers to kind of calm me, or help shape or guide me in decisions. But I knew this was some, I'm out. So that was my first not my first only, but the gentleman who taught me how to DJ, like, DJ crews, right?
Yeah.
I would witness the bullshit.
Yeah.
Excuse my French, but this is me from little, young,
right.
taking in the culture. So like, if it's two dudes and they DJing, and you bought one Apache and I got the other Apache, I used to watch them niggas argue. Then the jam can't happen because now he taking his record, his speaker, his everything get broke up. So I always wanted my own shit. So I came from having my own shit. So I'm thinking you should too.
You see that happen
too many times.
I'm sorry. But yeah, that's life. That's how it was. Like, I'm not playing the albums.
Yo, they used to get in an argument. Then this one is his turntable and this one is over.
Yeah. So
because they stand in the corner and nothing is happening. He got his turntable, his record, his one speaker. Because that's how real it was to manifest something.
Right.
You gotta respect it. That's why when you really try to do something, anybody else who goes into any field,
right,
and you really tried to do it, and you try to do it for yourself, and you see somebody else succeeding, you salute them.
Yeah.
Because when you understand everything it takes to manifest whatever moment it is, economically, time, sacrifice-wise, anything, all that stuff, that's why certain people be like, yo.
Yeah.
Because when you in it to win it, you know.
Yeah. So you gotta salute. You gotta give them big ups when they're making it. No shade, real talk, because it's a sacrifice. It's a commitment. It's everything. It's everything.
Right. I was being quiet, but inside the body was like, you know, all the sound effects.
This is it.
Yeah.
So Joyce, you look amazing. For those that can't see, that might be listening to us, you look great. I like your fashion sense and style. Did you design any of the pieces you're wearing today?
As a child of hip hop, a product of everything, one of the elements is art.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And of course, the young man who taught me all the elements and showed me everything. So the expression of drawing and painting has come later in life.
Nice.
And this is one of the many shirts that I've put together under what I call Need That Rose Gold. Is the brand, and then there's another kind of repetitive character that you see, a derivative of this character, kind of like when you look at the art, when you check out the art, is what I refer to him as is a star baby. Star, because the stars in it. And the stars were inspired by my grandmother doodling. She would doodle. I think she would look for the numbers to play in the daily news or whatever. But then at the same time, she's doodling, and one of the things that she would repeat is stars. So yeah, the stars inside of it is like my homage and salute to my grandmother. And then this gives me, it's sort of like anything else. Like when you think of characters or something that represents something, like if you see Ronald McDonald, we all know that represents McDonald's. So this is sort of like part of my creative energy and expressing visually. So it's not where my career is DJing wise, but I'm representing myself, and I understood the value of my own canvas when I look back and realize how many times I was a walking billboard
for somebody else,
for all these record companies and artists.
Right.
So I'm like, this is mine now.
Yeah.
I don't want you. This is mine. So you choose what you want on your feet, because this is you walking billboard, Nike, like. But what if you were able to create your own shoes? Then you would be. So
I'll let Joyce so she can make her own shoes.
No, but I paint on different stuff and I'm flat-footed, so Converse is one of my favorites. Do you ever put any gels in the bottom of them?
No, but I need to.
Sometimes, depending on the weather, like in New York, you can't put gels in the bottom because the gels get cold. And if you're walking late into the season with
these
on. But for comfortability, if anybody has any issues, a sneaky thing is gels. I got that from somebody in Cali because you know they wear them more than we do.
Yes, they
because
do.
their weather parameters allows them. Yeah, so this is all matrix numbers.
So Joyce, can people get some of your artistic designs on the T-shirts and stuff? Where can they get that?
Absolutely, they could hit my website.
Okay.
www.djjazzyjoyce.us.
Okay.
DJJazzyJoyce.us.
Okay.
And you can place an order. I'm personally.
Yeah. You sign?
No, I would personally paint whatever. But a lot of people, when I do paint shirts, they like, you gotta sign it, I'm like, nigga, you're not gonna frame it and try to catch a whole lot of money later. You gonna get this shirt, you want to sign something, buy a painting, we could do that. I've done 2 art shows so far. My last art show that I did, the first art show that I did was by myself. I wanted to experience the whole process of how do we put this together, because it's like taking everything in my life that I've learned and trying to produce something other than what I'm normally doing is producing a party or a moment for that. So I learned so much in terms of what I had to do as an artist, a visual artist, and then did my second art show, which was with Harlem Fine Arts Show. It's a traveling art show based out of New York, and they go to Chicago, DC.
Nice, major cities.
Yes. So that was my first time being a part of that, and that was great. I'm a newbie in that world. I'm totally newbie.
But it's interesting though.
Yes. But I'm totally, I feel like, it's not like when I go into an environment where I'm revered and regarded. I'm a newbie. Yeah, and it's fun.
It's awesome.
Yes.
You ever thought about teaching hip hop, DJing, turntables, like either younger kids or just in general? You thinking about doing that?
I'm definitely open to teaching and everything, but I need to be at a real college where I could get a real salary and a real, not these, no disrespect to the charter schools and all of these situations that are coming up. They can't pay me what I'm supposed to be paid. And I'm mature and I decode the matrix, the BS, because I'll break it down. Before I wasn't doing that in business deals and everything. That's why you sort of kind of get taken advantage of, and that's fine. But in terms of situations that have come up and asked me about teaching, I am so into it. I taught in Curacao. I went away and I flew over there and was over there for 2 weeks and taught for this big arts program called Arts Rules. So that was a great experience. But in terms of like committing to anything, it's just economically not worth my time.
Okay.
And I want to. I do. And I want students who want to learn the information to be there. And it's not based out of greed. It's just like, guys, you gotta pay.
Yeah.
We pay for everything, but don't want to pay for the right stuff. We do. We gotta pay for gas, tolls, everything. But then when it comes down to something,
then we like,
right.
We get real tight with it.
But imagine if we took care of the scholars, other people who have wealth of information, so that they could be all right, so that
so we can pass it on. We gotta keep it going.
What's the first thing you do? You're like, girl, get this right,
get your nutrients
right,
together.
and then, but it's like they want to just be like, no, starve and give us everything.
No. We're not doing that. What's next for Jazzy Joyce? What's next for you?
I definitely want to continue to develop the art side because it's fun and it's new. It's exciting. It gives me a feeling of excitement and enthusiasm. So that part definitely going to continue to cultivate everything associated with Need That, Rose Gold. And just in the process of trying to figure out exactly what I want to do, because I have so much potential for so many other things. And there's, I'm getting into things not music related or art related in a sense. I became, at 50 years old, I became a licensed barber. So I've been taking care of my own mohawk.
Nice.
Sometimes I've had people whisper and think I had, what is it?
Alopecia?
No, dummy. It's me. I fucked up and I ain't ashamed to walk around with it. I gotta let it grow out. It's not alopecia.
Yeah.
It's,
Okay.
So that you know, stuff like that. And then there's other things, like I said, that I know that for my own existence, I have to develop something outside of this so I can still do this.
I hear you.
Because waiting on y'all, it's tough.
Yeah.
Because everything is being dismantled. And here's the thing, people, keep it real with each other so that you can accomplish things. And that, like, just keep it 100. If you don't got something, you don't waste the next person's time. But if you making up excuses and making up lies and everything, it's like they're looking at you and they deem you something other than what you're not. You're not this person that they think you are. It's just that you're feeling ashamed because you don't want to say, I don't have XYZ to accomplish. But just say it, then we can work. Then there's other possibilities for plans to be worked out. But there's so many people who shamefully don't tell the truth.
Yes. Yeah. Now where does that get you?
Nowhere.
Right.
And then it takes time. You decoding it on your own. But look, it took 6 months for you to put all the pieces together and figure out, oh, he just didn't have the money.
You just said it from the jump.
Right, we could have maybe bartered something and still
saved a lot of time.
Right.
Yeah, and got to the goal.
Yes. So that's
Keep it 100.
yeah.
Yeah.
Look, if you really don't care for something or people, not everybody gets along. Kind of let it be known. Don't play, because then it makes something bad for no reason, all because you didn't keep it 100.
Right.
Like, I don't really vibe with you. And then maybe if you say it out loud, that person would be like, you know what? I don't really like you either because you did this, not like, but we didn't. And then in that moment, you might fix something because it might have been a misunderstanding
From gate. Yeah, so we could resolve a whole lot of stuff. You got a lot of wisdom, Joyce.
It's a life experience.
You do. You
And-
got it.
And
You do.
I didn't have anybody to bounce off to tell me because I'm an only child. See, when I was in the prime of my existence of the greatness
Right.
of just being Jazzy Joy's entity, I didn't have someone to pull me down off of when I hopped up on my bullshit.
Yeah.
And not because we all eventually, hopefully, learn. But it was a point when I didn't understand everything, and I was just a savage in the existence of the glory of the greatness of the position of pioneering what I did, and I was a savage. I didn't have anyone to refine me and say, hey, yeah, you might have been right, Jazzy, but you was wrong in your presentation.
Yeah.
Right, and that's where I'm at now. So in saying giving, I hope something that was said here today gives you a sense of clarity or even understanding or direction, and helping you be a better person in whatever you do. Because even though the topic is music and everything, there are so many parallels in terms of living, existing, and functioning that come off of anybody's
Shut my office door for me.
and that comes off of any person's trade of choice. It's just, there's certain general rules of life and functioning that apply no matter if you're a surgeon, DJ, a teacher, a nurse, a truck driver, police. It's just the code of life.
Right.
Keep it honest and respectful with each other. If we respect each other, we can work things out. Look, hey, they tell us, hey, we don't like you. And we work it out some way, but at least we know.
You know exactly what you're working with from the gate. How can the people find you, DJ Jazzy Joyce? How can they find you? Instagram? Where are you? Everywhere?
Not everywhere. I'm on first and foremost, website again, djjazzyjoyce.us. I'm on Instagram, where you can communicate with me directly. I am on Facebook, Instagram, Jazzy Joyce. Facebook and Twitter is DJ Jazzy.
Gotcha.
And on Facebook, I see the messages and all of that, but I kind of don't, I stay away from Facebook a little bit because it's like, it's paragraphs of begging and stuff. It's not enough time in the day.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they're the only one who are saying or asking the same thing, and which is a lot of you, and there's no exchange, no barter. Young people understand the meaning of barter. Some people, you say the word barter and they're looking at you like, you want a drink?
Right.
So get that together, holler at me.
Yes.
I appreciate the love.
Yes.
I really communicate with people. On Instagram mostly. Instagram and Twitter I'm most active.
Okay.
But I'm all over.
You are. Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you.
This
so
was
much.
awesome.
No, I thank you
This
so
was
much.
awesome. Thank you.
Where can people find you?
Me, yes, me, the real chick.
Yes.
I am everywhere. I have realchicksrock.com, the website. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You know where to find me. I just want to thank you, Joyce, for coming. I wish you nothing but continued success in everything that you do.
Thank you, sis.
Whatever you do, I want you to be successful. We got you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
I'm thankful. And if you're up in New York, holla.
I will.
I'll definitely, yes, definitely.
The Bronx must do it.
Yes, shouts to your handsome son.
Thank you for camera one, Christopher.
Yes, Christopher looking like mommy.
All right, guys.
Yes.
And so until next time, you guys take care. Continue to rock on. Bye.
Peace.